Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One, and I am back with another video. You know what you got to do: rate, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you'll know when my next video goes live, goes down. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Okay, so we're gonna talk real fast, real quick about how the Toronto Raptors lost Game 1. Now, I'm not a firm believer of a team letting one get away, where a team did all the right things, but still they lost. I'm not a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer of the best man won. Okay, at the end of the day, there's a team that's got a W, and then there's a team that's got an L. Okay, but there were a few things in last night's game that, well, if people believe in stuff like that, they can go to those reasons why the Toronto Raptors lost Game 1 last night. Particularly, they had Giannis in check. Giannis didn't blow up. Giannis wasn't the reason why they lost. The Milwaukee Bucks are the reason why they lost, okay? And I felt like the Milwaukee Bucks had an all-around team foundation. It was the little things, and it was also the others of the Milwaukee Bucks that kept the Milwaukee Bucks to ultimately win that game. I know people are going to point to Kawhi. He did his thing, but it just wasn't enough. And I don't know why I want to call him Leonard. Lowry, he struggled a bit in this game. And the rest of the Toronto Raptors just wasn't there. It just wasn't their night. Okay? Even though Toronto led in some aspects of the game, they just couldn't lead when it really means the most, which is the final 2 minutes. And the Bucks I keep telling people, the Bucks are a dangerous team, okay? They shouldn't be treated lightly, okay? Because the Toronto Bucks, and it's really the attitude of Giannis. Giannis' attitude just sprinkles all over the Bucks, because Giannis believes in team. Giannis believes in us. Giannis don't believe in just me, okay? I'm gonna put you guys on my back, and I'm gonna carry you guys to the finals, okay? That's not his MO, and that's why he's very special. And just think, folks, he got all the fundamentals, but it's scary to see this man 4 years down the road when he starts really developing, and it's already a good mid-range shot, but when he starts consistently hitting them 3 points, which he's a big man and he's pretty average on the 3-point line. He's not Steph Curry, he's not Kevin Durant. No one claimed that he was, but when you see Giannis, it's more of his athleticism. But eventually, Giannis surrounds himself around a lot of people that's telling him, look, eventually your athleticism is going to go away. You're going to get older, and you're going to have to depend on other things to win ball games. And Giannis doesn't strictly depend on his athleticism. Clearly, somebody got into his ear. It kind of reminds, Giannis has some resemblance of LeBron James athletic-wise, but I feel like he's a better athlete than LeBron James. And I know a lot of people are going to say, what are you talking about? I feel like Giannis is a better all-around athlete than LeBron James, just by the way he moves up and down the court. He doesn't move up and down the court like a traditional big man. He really moves up and down the court like a forward. Even though his size dictates that he's more of a power forward, could be slotted as a center, okay? But I feel like Giannis is one of those type of brothers that he's only going to get better. Okay, this is just a small. We're just scratching the surface on Giannis, what he can potentially do for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I was getting ready, and I lost my train of thought, but I remember. I kind of wish when LeBron, when he went to Miami, Pat Riley was, telling him that, yo, man, your athletic, you do a lot of amazing things with the ball, athletic wise. Okay, you're like a locomotive going down. Okay, going down the other end of the court, but you can't always depend on your athleticism. Eventually you're gonna have to depend on other things like your low post game. Okay, your half court game. Okay, you got to quit. Depending on the three, because that three is going to go away, and you can't always go to it like a go-to move. Your your go-to move should be your low post game, how strong you are. And I felt like LeBron listened to it to some extent, but LeBron felt like he's going to always keep this he can preserve this athleticism because he's the most when you talk about training and workouts, he's a workout warrior, don't get me wrong, but see, father, nobody has won against Father Time. Okay, all the greats eventually lose their athleticism. You can prolong it a little bit by dieting and working out and not eating certain foods, but it's only prolonging it. Okay, you can probably squeeze another 2 or 3 years, but eventually your athleticism is going to get away. Eventually, those young cats are going to be flying by you. Okay, so Giannis is starting early in his career to develop his low post game, and he's already scary. He's scary to me. He's big time. He's scary, and he's not even at the scratching point of what he can ultimately do. Okay, and Giannis is still young. Okay, so but besides all that, I'm jumping off the subject. Giannis wasn't really the main focus, the main reason why the Bucks won. It was the other guys that got the W for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I feel like Toronto just had if you're a Toronto fan, you could use this excuse that they just had an off night. Okay, the shots were not landing like they normally do. Okay, the other guys of the Toronto Raptors just wasn't there. Their shots were just off. Okay, and that's fine and dandy. No, I just felt like Toronto was depending way too much on the three. Okay, and I felt like if they stopped worrying about the three and just do the little things, they can slowly but surely take the lead. You remember now, it wasn't a 20-point lead. Okay, they could have came back, but I felt like Toronto was depending way too much on the three and throwing the ball to Kawhi. Okay, and that's fine and dandy and all, but sometimes Kawhi can't win every game. Sometimes you have to depend on your others as well, and I feel like the Toronto Raptors depend on Kawhi way too much, and the Milwaukee Bucks, they don't depend on Giannis. Okay, because Giannis enforced an attitude that's breeding with that team, with that ball club, that hey, you other guys can win as well. I mean, you guys can get pulled and contribute to this W too. And I feel like between those two squads, if the Milwaukee Bucks prevail and win that series, and it's I already told you guys, the Golden State Warriors are going to beat the Blazers in 4 games, maybe 5. 5's the most, okay? And if the Milwaukee Bucks face the Golden State Warriors, well, they better have Kevin Durant, okay? Because you got to have an answer for Kawhi. I'm not saying Kevin Durant can defend Giannis. He can't defend Giannis, but you have to match talent with talent, skill versus skill, okay? Will versus will. And Giannis can do a lot of amazing things athletically. He's already developed his low post game, and that's going to scare the Golden State Warriors because they really don't have anybody that can defend Giannis like that. I'm pretty sure they're going to try and attempt to throw players at him like AI. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to put Kevin Durant on him, Klay Thompson on him, but they really don't have, and they're bigs as well. They really don't have anybody that can really defend Giannis. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Boogie, Boogie's talking about it's a possibility he can return in these finals. Even if Boogie return into these finals, I don't think Boogie can defend. I mean, how injured he is can defend Giannis. And even Boogie in his prime, if he was injury free, couldn't beat Giannis. It's just the way it is. So I just saw a rat climb on this lady's window pane, and luckily he went through a hole, a crevice, or whatever. And there's a bird right here, and he was like 10 seconds off. If he was like maybe 5 seconds early, I mean, if he would have timed that perfectly, he would have had food this morning, okay? But he was a little bit slow, okay? But that's what I'm looking at. I just be looking at, I just notice subtle things in life, okay? So back to what I was talking about. Even if Boogie was clearly healthy, I don't think he has any answers for Giannis. Okay, Giannis is just that good. Okay, so I think that's going to be a great series. The Warriors and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if Toronto somehow, some way beats Milwaukee, and they represent the East, and they go up against the Golden State Warriors, I feel like that's going to be a short finals, okay? Because I feel like they have players that can sort of guard and D up Kawhi because of their previous history with Kawhi when he used to play for the San Antonio Spurs, okay? So they got a lot of substitution packages. They got a lot of players. They got a lot of defensive packages to get Kawhi. And I think sometimes Kawhi can probably be his own worst enemy because he shoots so much, okay? His attempts, he shoots so many attempts, sometimes, if he can pretty much shoot his way into a real situation he can't get himself out of. And that's pretty much the only player that they have that they depend. And I feel like Toronto Raptors depend heavily on Kawhi. Okay. And, they give it to Kawhi, and then they go into the corners and see what Kawhi can do. And, of course, they step in and score and things of that nature. But I feel like they depend on him way too much. And, you can't win championships. You can't win finals just depending on one guy. Okay. It just doesn't happen that way. So I feel like last night, this is going to be a long series. This is not going to be a 4-game, 5-game. I can see this series extend to a game 6 or take it all the way down to the wire to game 7, which if it do go to game 7, advantage Golden State, because I think they're going to easily dispose of the Blazers, particularly if they win game 2. If the Golden State Warriors win game 2, I feel like the Blazers are going to have that thought. It's already in the back of their mind. And now that thought is going to be in the front of their mind like, wait a minute. I don't think there's really nothing we can do with the Golden State Warriors. We're down 0-2. They don't have no Kevin Durant. Okay, their bench is short. All right, no Boogie Cousins, and we're still having problems defending these guys. I feel like the only way this series could be extended if Draymond Green gets himself into some foul trouble, or if he's suspended for a game. I feel like that's the only way this series is going to prevail past 6 or 7. But I feel like Leonard has a game in him where he can just go bananas and just shoot all over the gym. But I still feel like there's way too many players on the Golden State Warriors that can match him tit for tat. Steph, Clay, and I feel like Draymond Green is going to get a triple double in the next couple of games. I feel like game 2 is Draymond Green is going to go off, because I think they're going to slack off of Draymond Green and zone or double heavily on the Splash Brothers, which will leave open shots to Draymond Green, and he's going to punish them for that. Okay, particularly when they start putting their bigs out there. They're going to stay bigs. They're not shooter specialists. Okay, so a lot of those guys are going to get a lot of open opportunities, and they may try one shot or two, but normally Golden State, their setup is they're probably going to shoot it to the next. They're going to keep moving the ball around, and Steph or Klay Thompson is going to they're going to do screens for Steph and Klay Thompson. And that's going to be a nightmare for the Blazers, because a lot of people are not, and the talking heads out there are not saying this, but the reason why they having a hard time fighting through the screens, because they're undersized. Leonard is an undersized point guard, and it makes his life difficult fighting through all those screens. The same as CJ McCullough. He's not undersized, but he's just not big enough to push away and fight through all those screens. And after a while, your stamina goes down fighting the screens all night long. Eventually, you're going to give up, okay? Your body's going to tell you, like, hey, I'm giving up, man. Enough is enough, okay? So that's all I got for today's live stream. If you caught yesterday's live stream, I wasn't even on that long. Okay, I appreciate it if you guys go over there and check that stream out as well. I'm gonna try to come with another live stream later on today. Guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. I'm Chris Dom One, and I am out of here. Deuces, guys. Deuces.